In 1986, much to the surprise of his peers, a 23-year-old Hideo Kojima announced he was joining the video game industry. He had always been interested in something creative, being a fan of films initially rather than video games, and so he joined Konami. The first game he worked on was Penguin Adventure. While the game was moderately successful, Kojima was disappointed in not being able to make games with the Nintendo Entertainment System. He pitched many ideas to his superiors, but were rejected due to his lack of programming skills. Kojima won his lost life when he was given a managing role in his war game, a game that became the biggest stealth franchise of all time. Kojima finally had a chance to create his vision for a game. However, he was producing for the MSX, a computer producer exclusive in Japan. While it was a relatively powerful console, it could only animate 4 characters on screen at once. Kojima's interest in films gave him a solution. Inspired by The Great Escape, he realized he could focus on the tension of sneaking around, rather than simply firing in all directions. His film inspiration didn't stop there, as he named his character Snake, based on Snake Plissken from 1981's Escape from New York. In fact, his box art was just a shot of Michael Biehn from the original Terminator. Once again, his superiors weren't so sure. They wanted something that would appeal to a mass audience, like the flagship NES product Contra. This led him to nearly giving up on the project altogether and leaving Konami, until one of his bosses convinced him to continue development. Metal Gear finally released in 1987 for the MSX2, to amazing reception. Its stealth gameplay made it unique compared to games released in that time. Its story was riveting, well spotting the generic defeat the boss plotlines of other games at the time. Players controlled Snake, an operative sent to the nation of Outer Heaven in order to rescue an ally, who left a transmission of 2 words, Metal Gear. The plot twisted and turned, culminating in a final battle to destroy Metal Gear, a walking tank capable of launching nuclear missiles from anywhere in the world. A heavily altered version of the game was later released on the NES by another division of Konami. Even with major changes, the game still sold well, also giving North American audiences a chance to play the stealth franchise, and fulfilling Kojima's dream to develop a game for the NES. With Metal Gear behind him, Kojima wanted to move on to other things, but Konami had other plans. Seeing that Metal Gear had sold so well, Konami wanted the sequel, with or without Kojima. The result was the 1990s in Metal Gear 2: Snake's Revenge. A bland action game with almost no storyline and no link to the original Metal Gear. The designers of the game had left out many of the elements which made the original Metal Gear so unique. Because of this, fans of the original disregarded the game altogether. The lead designer of the game was actually a huge fan of the original Metal Gear. Meeting Kojima on a train one day, he told Kojima how much he loved Metal Gear and convinced him to make a real sequel. And so in 1990, a new Metal Gear was born. Produced and directed by Kojima, the sequel carried on from the original plot and gameplay, while ignoring the events of Snake's Revenge. The final product was better than the original in every way. The stealth was enhanced, the inventory bigger, and the story even more exhilarating. They explored his characters and plot more deeply, and the narrative was closer to that of an RPG than any action game. Kojima used his artistic skills to make something no one saw coming, a second time. But being a masterpiece wasn't enough. Metal Gear was stuck in the 8-bit era, while Japan had already moved into the 16-bit generation. Metal Gear was seen as outdated, and looked over by many. And so Kojima left Metal Gear again, moving on to other projects, not knowing where to take the release of a new console and the introduction of 3D graphics for Kojima to create the game that nobody had expected. Tune in next time to see Metal Gear go solid.